Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about some local Denver area radio personality autographs that I've collected over the years. I am in the Denver area, have been for quite a while, and over the years I've collected some autographs from the DJs, and I wanted to share those with you because I went through my autographs and I realized I had a few more than I thought, and I thought it justified a video, and then I saw some other photos of autographs I have of nationally known people that were at one point on the radio also, and I'll get into that at the end. But first of all, I want to talk about these guys, AM morning DJs on 105.9 KBPI before it became Alice. Back in the day, Dean and Raj had a morning show, very popular. And if you know about Dean and Raj and you remember those guys, you remember Redneck Roy, and they would do the prank birthday scam calls in the mornings and things like that. And I didn't get an autograph from these guys when they were in the Denver area. I tracked them down online years ago, and when I found them, they were at Classic Rock 93.7 The Arrow. I believe it's in Texas somewhere, but they did hook me up with an autographed picture, so I thought that was totally awesome. So that's that. And this one I didn't even realize I had because my wife got this years ago, and this is from DJ Randy J. And Randy J is still on the air in Denver. He's been a long time radio personality in the area, but this is from when he was on KIMN radio, AM 95, back in the day, the Kim Chicken, if you remember that, and his autograph is right there. And I believe he's on Cool 105 now. I believe. I looked it up. He's been on multiple radio stations in the Denver area for years. And next I have, this is from an AM radio station. This was the entertainment guy at the time, back in the probably late 90s, early 2000s. I forget when his time frame was, but it's Reggie McDaniel. Like I said, he was the entertainment guy back in the day on 850 KOA News Radio. And he was at an appearance one day. I forget what it was. It wasn't radio related, but he was a personality at this show or whatever. I forget exactly what it was. And he hooked me up with an autograph, which was very cool. And a little backstory with Reggie McDaniel. He is related to Hattie McDaniel that played Mammy in Gone with the Wind. She is or was a Denver resident back in the day, and she did graduate from Denver East High School. And he mentioned this a few times. I think he's a nephew or something like that. It wasn't like his great grandmother or grandmother or something like that, but he was related to Hattie McDaniel, and they are the Denver family, and which was pretty cool because I looked up Hattie McDaniel, and not only was she in Gone with the Wind, she was in, I forget the name of the movie. She was in a movie with, I just looked it up 5 minutes ago, The Little Colonel, I believe, with Shirley Temple. And after Shirley Temple became a child actress, when in her adulthood she became a United States ambassador for Ghana and Czechoslovakia, and was also, I don't understand, she was the United States Department of Protocol, something like that. I've never really heard of that, but I can see that. And while she was in office, she passed away in 2014, and this was probably around 2008, 2010 when I requested this autograph. And being in the public office, she was easy to track down. She has a mailing address in Washington. She had a mailing address in Washington, and I requested her autograph, and sure enough, she hooked me up with it. Shirley Temple Black right there, which is very cool. So I love the connections you can make with autographs. Reggie McDaniel related to Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel was in, I think, The Little Colonel. I believe that's the name of it, with Shirley Temple, and bada bing, bada boom, got a Shirley Temple autograph right there. So I love those connections I can make with autographs. like I said before, I have Dina Raj's autograph from the one time KBPI 105.9 KBPI before they went to 106.7, and when KAZY went under, they switched over to 106.7. Once KBPI transferred to 106.7, the station 105.9, the call letters, everything changed and it was KALC. And their first on-air morning DJs when the station started up, Alice 105.9, they had a 3-person morning show with Frosty Stillwell, Frank Kramer, and Jamie White. And they were very, very, very popular in the Denver area in the 90s. Very, very popular. They just blew up all over the place. And I don't want to get into all the drama, and I don't know 100% of the story, but there was some contract negotiations and things that went awry. People weren't happy on the show, so they disbanded. Jamie White went to Los Angeles and worked on Star 98.7, where coincidentally before American Idol, Ryan Seacrest was an on-air personality at the time. And she took off there. I think Frosty and Frank stayed in Denver for a little bit, but they eventually moved to Los Angeles too. And they were on a FM talk show or talk radio station back in the day. And this was 97, 98 roughly. And I did take a trip to California at that time. And so I could listen to Jamie White while she was at Star 98.7 for just a little while. We stayed in California for maybe a week, but every day we got in the car, I turned the radio on and tried to find those guys because it was kind of nostalgic. It was pretty cool. And but the other talk FM radio station, it was kind of an anomaly because talk radio is normally on AM. This was an FM station. And Frosty Stillwell was on the station with Frank Kramer, and I requested autographs from these guys, and obviously they hooked me up. And I got all 3 of these at separate times. This was when Jamie White was in Star 98.7, and I can't remember the radio station name, but I got these 2. Wow, these guys were on the FM talk radio. And I listened to these guys too, and I believe their co-host was Heidi Collins, if I remember right. But it was very cool, very nostalgic. If you, these guys were on the air for quite a while in the Denver area, and they attracted quite a following, and it was cool to listen to them. I listened to Frosty and Frank for a little bit online until they kind of faded out. I think they finally gave it up after a little while, being on air like that. And initially, the show was Frosty, Frank, and Jamie. And like I said, I don't want to get into the drama too much, but Jamie gained a little more popularity, and the show was rebranded Jamie, Frosty, and Frank, I believe. But either way, definitely glad to have these autographs. Very, very cool. And I've mentioned KBPI a couple times. Once KBPI moved to 106.7, KAZY never ceased to exist. They kept some of their DJs, and one of their DJs was Willie B. He's still on air right now. KBPI is on a different radio frequency. It's not 106.7 anymore. I don't really listen to the radio anymore, but KBPI has changed from 105.9, 106.7, and whatever they're on now. I can't remember. But Willie B is a long-time radio personality there, and he was at a signing. I think it was the same place where Reggie McDaniel was, actually. And he was signing autographs, and he hooked my kids up with autographs there, kind of like photocopied autograph pictures, which was kind of cool. Never been a fan of Willie B, but I'll take the autographs nonetheless. I've seen him a couple times at concerts and things like that. Just suffice it to say that I'm not a fan. I respect that he's a long-time DJ, radio personality, things like that, but I'll leave it at that. And if you know anything about Denver radio history and Willie B, you'll remember when he got in trouble for hosting or attending an event up in the mountains where they were doing some mudding, four-wheel drive mudding, and attempted to destroy some private property. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he was in the media, in the news a while for that back in the day. Okay, so that's enough for the local Denver area radio personalities. And I was going through my autographs, and I have a few, or a couple that are nationally known figures that I got autographs from, and a lot of not a lot. I can't remember how I looked this up back in the day. This has been years ago, but if you search, I can't remember how you would start, either the celebrity or the radio station. A lot of personalities that were in music or whatever become DJs at radio stations, and I found this one, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. He was at a radio station, 93.3 WMMR, back east somewhere. I requested an autograph, and he hooked me up for that with that. So that's very cool, Mr. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister. And if you've ever been a fan of Coast to Coast with Art Bell, and if you ever got into that show, you know Art Bell retired after a while, and George Noory took over the show. And I regret not requesting an Art Bell autograph back in the day, but I wasn't in the collecting mind frame back when he was on the air. I didn't even think about it. So I did request a George Noory autograph, and he hooked me up with that one. Shane, best wishes, and his autograph is down there over his name. So very cool. Listen to George Noory quite a bit, but Art Bell was a totally different personality, and I would have loved to get his autograph too. And another person that was on, he was syndicated at the time. This was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where this person was still syndicated on radio. Now he has just an online presence, and you can subscribe to his show. And this is Phil Hendrie. And if you've never heard of Phil Hendrie, he's got a very unique sense of humor and a very unique approach to his radio show. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you've got a slightly twisted sense of humor or something like that, you might want to check him out. And he has, I don't want to spoil it too much, but he portrays characters on his broadcasts. And one of his characters' catchphrase, he would introduce himself as a gay man and a gay journalist. And when I got Mr. Hendrie's autograph back, it says, "To Shane, a gay man and a gay journalist, Phil Hendrie." And I laughed very hard when I pulled this out of the mail because I got the joke immediately. I was very, very impressed with that. I love it. And the only reason I don't listen to Phil Hendrie now is because I just don't have the time to commit to listening to anything. I don't watch TV, anything like that. So, but definitely check out Phil Hendrie. Very, very unique sense of humor, very unique approach to his comedy, and it's worth a look. Yeah, but I'll leave it at that. So that's my look at local Denver radio personality autographs and some nationally known people. So if you're looking to get an autograph from a personality that might have kind of retired from their primary function as a band member or something like that, they might be on a local radio station somewhere. I remember I looked up Search from third base of Pop Goes the Weasel fame back in the day, and he was at a radio station back east somewhere also. So they're out there if you want to look for an autograph from somebody that might not be in the spotlight right at the moment. And just to let them know that you haven't forgotten them, you know they're still out there and you're still a fan. Write them a letter, let them know how you feel, ask, see if you can get an autograph, whatever it may be. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys later. Bye.